Now as we move forward into the next section, we're looking at the learning objectives of explaining the impact of guerrilla warfare, which we've already kind of touched on a little bit with the Vietcong, and we're going to analyze the relationship between the war effort and the struggles on the home front. So let's start by looking at the Vietcong battle tactics. As I mentioned, it was hard to distinguish them from the regular population. The same people sometimes who came in and helped my father out in the shop during the day were the same people planting landmines at night. The Vietcong typically disguised themselves as locals. And in fact, some of them were locals, and they blended in with the local population. Also, they didn't face Americans on the battlefield, but instead they used those hit-and-run tactics and they retreated to tunnels. There were 125 miles of tunnels in 1965. They also, once again, as I mentioned, used landmines as well as other booby traps. One particular strategy or tactic used a lot were the use of punji sticks, which what a punji stick really was is they would take a piece of bamboo, a long piece of bamboo, and they would sharpen it to a very fine point. And really it was basically as strong as steel by the time that they had it sharpened. And then they would fill the hollow inner portion of it with human excrement. And then what would happen is that if somebody would become stuck by that punji stick, they would actually have the human excrement imparted into the wound, which would cause infection. And the fact of the matter is that if you got one soldier that was injured and then became ill because of this, it not only took that person out, but it took a couple people to take care of that person and to carry their supplies. And so very rapidly, you could render a whole unit ineffective by the use of these sticks. And they typically use them in different types of traps, where sometimes people might become impaled on them, either by stepping into a hole that was full of punji sticks, or sometimes they might have some type of trap that might come swinging down. So there were a wide variety of different punji sticks that they would use. But the idea, once again, was the same thing. Not only to take out that person, but to take out others as well, rendering the unit ineffective.